Welcome to another video from C Graphics.
On my previous video, I showed you guys how I was able to edit this design using Adobe Lightroom, and I got some requests that I should drop a tutorial on how I was able to design it. Well, this design was made with Pixellab, and I'm going to be showing you how I was able to do that. So stick to the end. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and click the notification bell so you get notified when next I post a video. Now let's get into the video. So the first thing we'll be doing is to work on the size. Um, but before we do that, let me import the original design. So this is the original design. So we'll be using it for reference throughout the whole video. So that's why I imported it. So now let's work on the size, because this is not the size I used for this design. So the width is 1080 and the height is 1350. So this video is going to be divided into two parts. We work on the background, then we work on the text. Now for the background, I used two images to manipulate the background. So let me import the first one. This is the first image I used. So after importing it, you go to your relative size, you increase it to the end, and then you align it upwards. Then after that, you go to your color filter. I reduce my hue to 20, then I increase the saturation to 25. Then this is it. Now let me import the other image I used for the background. So this is it. The only thing I did to this image was to reduce the opacity, and I reduced the opacity to 20. Okay, let me bring in the original design so I'll see what I'm doing here. Okay, let's see. Okay, the next thing we'll be doing is to bring in our stage lights. So these are our stage lights. Now we'll just rotate this. Okay, let me bring in the original design so I'll see what I'm doing. Oh god, I switched it. My bad. So it's supposed to be the other way. Okay. Supposed to waste time on this background. I don't know why I made that mistake. Very costly mistake. Now we'll go to our copy and we'll flip it, then rotate it by 12 also. Okay, this is it. The next thing we'll be doing is to cover this white part here. Let's cover that white part, and we'll do that using the fading technique on Pixellab. So I just locked my background so it won't, so I will accidentally move it around. So you go to your shape and go to your shape, go to gradient, click on the plus icon. So we'll change the color. We'll change this up part here to be transparent. So we'll do that by bringing this dot slider till the end. Then we'll change the color of this, and the color code I use there is 231C11. So you click on good and click on OK. So you adjust it a little. After doing that, you just size it till it covers that down part. Keep increasing it till it covers that down part. And I believe I'm done with the background. Maybe I just hit a little. Okay. This is it for the background, and we are done with the background. Now it's time to attach the text. And now for the text, let me bring in the original so I won't make any mistake this time around. Let's bring in the name of the fellowship that's Methodist Campus Fellowship photo chapter. To avoid typing, I saved it. So let me just bring it in and just increase the size. So the next thing is to bring in our text effect. Now the text effect was made with Photoshop. I think I used Photoshop to create the text effect. Then I removed the background and imported it into Pixellab and used it here. So let me bring in the text effect. So this is it. Let me increase the size a little. So this is it. Now as you can see, there's present here. So I'm going to write that out. So let's bring in our text and write present in capital letter. Present. What am I writing? Present. Now the color I use is white. Then I change the font to sharp Grotech Light 25. Yeah, this is it. Then the size was 15. I used 15. Then the spacing, I think I bold it a little, so I went to style and bold it. Then the spacing I increase it to the end. Centralize it, then I carefully aligned it. Okay. I know you'll be like, why is the design in Pixellab looking dull and the one I'm using as reference is looking sharp? So that's because I enhanced the design using Adobe Lightroom, and I dropped a video showing how I was able to do that on Adobe Lightroom. So go to my YouTube page and check out for the video. You'll see it's there, so don't be surprised. So now the next thing is to write out the theme. Now for the theme, I brought in a shape. This was it. Then I why is it wasting time? Then I crop this part out. What's wrong with Pixellab now? Then I crop this part out. Then went to erase color. Use my color picker, pick that color. Click on the plus icon. Use my color picker and I carefully pick this orange out. And this is it. Then increase my tolerance a little bit. So after that, I went to shadow. So when I was at shadow, I reduced my blur radius to 1. Then my offset X, I think I increased it. I increased my offset X and increase my offset Y also. Then I change the color of the shadow. So the color code I used was FF8 D16 FF8 D16, and this is it. Then I just scale it down. Okay, let me look at the reference before I make a mistake again. Okay, and this is it. Just carefully align it to the center. Now I brought in my text and I wrote theme. I changed the color to white to black. Then the font I used was Sharp Grotex Book 25. Sharp Grotex Book 25. Now the size I used was 19. I used 19 and I think that's it. And I just carefully align it to the shape. I think I applied little spacing. Okay, this is it. Yeah. Now this is the next step is to bring in the theme name, which is Shekinah Glory. Okay, everything was in capital letter. Then I changed the color I used was white. Then the font is Grotech Sharp Grotech Light 25. Yeah, this is it. Then I went to style, I bold it. Then the size I reduced it to the size a little, not that much. Then I centralize it. and it's looking sharp already. It's looking okay. Now for the Psalm 24. Psalm 24, I used the font I used was Sharp Grotech Light 25. But this time around I didn't go to style to bold it. I just left it that way, everything in capital letter. I changed the color to white, reduce the size. I centralized it. Okay, it's looking very small. Looking small. Wait, I think I use this text I wrote here. Some 24. Okay, the spacing is looking too much. Let me increase it so I'll see. I'll see what I did. No. Okay, this was it. Oh, I can't remember the size I used, but let's just use this. Okay, now let's work on the venue and the address part. Okay, to avoid having error in size, let me use my grid line to get the size properly. Okay. It's okay now. Let me bring in my shape with the help of my magnet. After that, I go to gradient, click on the plus icon. Then for this slider, the color code I used was FFD 100. So I just switched it because I noticed I made a mistake. Now the color code I used for this part is FF8 11 Okay. So the next thing is to attack the other side. Now the shape I used for, let me bring in the shape I used for that part. So all resources used will be made available in the description. I'll drop a drive link there for you to download these resources I used. So this is the shape I used for this part. Then I went to color and I used a different gradient entirely. So I used the fourth pattern, the fourth gradient pattern. So this part, I'm going to change the color of this, and the color code I used was FF811E. Now for this other part, the color code I used was FFD100. Then I click on OK. Now I went to my shadow to create contrast between the two shapes. I went to shadow, reduce my blur radius till the end, then I changed the color of the shadow to white. Change color of the shadow to white, then increased the offset X and offset Y. I think I increased both of them by 5. Okay. Now let's write venue. Now go to our text and write venue. Alright, venue. Then change the color to black. Then the font I used was Sharp Grotech Book 25. Then the size was 17. So I carefully aligned it on this shape. Okay. The next text we'll be bringing up is the address CSE Annex building behind workshop 3. So the color I used was black, and the font is Sharp Grotech Light 25, and the size was and the size that I even use 17 also. See, I use the same 17. So I just break this from here, then I carefully align them. Okay. Mistake in size. Okay. Carefully align it properly. Yes, I think this is okay now. The next thing is to write out our dates. So let me bring in the date icon I used. So I went to erase color and I enable it and increase the tolerance. Then the color I used the gradient color. I used this one. So let me bring in my text. So for the text, 10th November 2023. All in capital letter, and the font I used was Sharp Protect Bold. Then this color is black. Then the size was very small too. Okay, color is actually white too, not black. I carefully aligned it. I'm bringing my date icon also, and align it too. Okay, now is the time.
Oh god, no, science really long. This is the longest tutorial video I've ever made. Now I'm breaking my shape, then I reduce the opacity, then change the color. I increase my stroke to 2, then the color of the stroke was this gradient, then the color of the shape itself is the gradient but flipped. Then I increase the blur radius. Didn't really get it too. Okay, this is it. Yeah, I've gotten it now. Now let's bring in our time icon. Is it? Now you go to your erase color, increase the tolerance. The color I used was white. Yeah. Now go to our text and we write time. Change the color to white, then the font, change the font to Sharp Protect Light. The size I used for the time is 18. Let me carefully align it now. Now for the time, that is 10 p.m. I used the same font I used to write the date. 10 p.m. Then the size I used for that one is 23. I used 23. Now I carefully aligned it. Okay. Yeah, we're almost done with the design. The only part that's remaining now is the ministers, the guest ministers. So I'm bringing the image I used, the images I used, the images of the ministers. So this is the first one. The second image I used, this one. I just sent it to the back of this other one. Then the other image I used, Zuchi Wonders. Now I need to carefully align them. Align them properly. Okay. It's okay now. Let me copy this layer that the theme is on. I use the same font I used to write ministers. To write present, I used it to also write guest ministers. The spacing was different though. The spacing I used for this one was 50. Then I changed the color to black. Then put it here. Now is to carefully align this. Okay, it's looking okay already, so yeah. Now let me bring the dots behind the whole image. Wow, we're almost done. We are almost done. Okay, let me blur out that down. Let me blur out that down part, so when I'm inputting their names, it will be more visible. Yeah. So this is it. Okay, it's looking okay. Yeah, design is already looking sharp. Now the only thing remaining for this design is their names. Okay, let me see how I wrote their names. Okere Victor. Okere Wisdom. So let's go to our shape and bring in our triangle too. Scale it down, then change the color. Centralize it. Okay, let me reduce the size a little bit more. Okay, this is okay. Now his name is Okere. Okay, the font I used was, I don't know, I can't even remember the font I used again. Okere Wisdom. And I changed the color to white. Then the font I used, I think I used the book, Sharp Grotech book. Okay. Then I went to align them to center. Since it's a tutorial video, I can't be perfect. I don't think that is a font though, but okay. I think I used the light instead of the book. Okay, yeah, I used the light. Now for the next speaker. Bring the triangle down so fit in the minister's name, and the minister name is Suchi Wonders. Now align it to the right. Now position it properly. Now let's do the next part. Now his name is Minister Prince Jude. Minister Prince Jude. Now align this to the left. Really tired. And this is it. We are done with the flyer. Hope you learnt new trick from this design. Hope you learned something new from this video. Thank you for sticking to the end. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe. See you in the next video.